Well, Scott, thank you for joining me for our corporate call.
Awesome.
A couple of days early. They get to hear from me every single month, and we talk company results, we talk about key initiatives that we're working on, we try to get them focused on the future. We certainly celebrate people, but they never have a chance to hear it from you, so it's really cool that you're joining me.
Oh, I love it. The only reason, as you know, we've talked about it many times, I try to bequeath that upon you because you're a better orator than I am, and just it's great communication. You do a nice job. So does the whole team, actually.
Yeah, we have an amazing team,
Yeah.
and I appreciate the trust and the confidence. And it's hard to believe we're one quarter in 2024.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Crazy already. It seems like it's going so fast. It's crazy.
So we finished the first quarter, we do just north of $1 billion. How do you feel about how we landed in quarter one?
I think that's good. Stereotypically, I think that's about 16% of overall production. Because we have quarter 2 and 3 obviously become our bigger ones, and we'll somewhere land in the 30 range. So that puts us somewhere around 6.5 billion roughly for the year. Somewhere between 6 and 7. I think we did 5.5 last year. So a nice 20% increase this year. I think we're trending, given the market, if it stays kind of where it's at now with rates and pressure on the home buying process, obviously.
Is that a good year for us, you think?
I think anytime you're up 20% and the market's down 75, you're doing amazing, yeah.
What would take us north of that if we wanted to shoot for 8 or 10? Is there anything that gets us there in your mind?
I don't think this year. I think that there's years that you can have these crazy growths and years you cannot. And we know our basic focus here is always on, enriching the lives of those that we get to serve. And I always want to be conscientious of that first and foremost, because when you say, hey, I want to grow, I've seen other companies in the industries just want to be the biggest or want to be, grow 50% or whatever. It's never my focus, and thus hopefully it isn't our focus. I think it's always enriching the lives, growing as much as we can grow without changing the user experience. And that user is every single person that works here and every single borrower that we get to entertain and do loans for. And that, to me, is most important. I think we're growing a healthy company. We have wonderful people, and growth is kind of what it is.
This is one of the few places I've worked where there isn't a growth target, and I love that. And last year, we changed our vision and mission to focus on enriching lives and putting people in homes. And it's great that that's our focus. I think our team has really latched onto that both inside of corporate and out in the field. Our customers tell us we're doing really well. 96% customer satisfaction rating.
Wow.
With North, I keep saying North, I don't know why, it's my thing, but more than 75% of the borrowers that we work with take time to fill out a survey, so it's pretty meaningful.
It's unbelievable, yeah, really, and those statistics are great, and yeah, we continue to have great results, and it's a byproduct of what we say we want to be. If we want to enrich lives, then we're going to enrich lives. If we say we don't have a target on where we want to grow to, then we probably will stay focused on what's important to us.
You talk to our branches all day long, branch managers, regional managers, loan officers, processors. You're more connected than any owner of a company that I've ever had the pleasure to meet and work with. What do the branches say about our corporate team and the way we treat them and the way we support them?
Well, you can look at adjectives. You can say respect, care, love. Those are really nice words that you don't hear at a company per se. And they're important things because at the end of the day, we're lucky to have the branches that stay with us. We have an incredible tenure with them, and we have an incredible tenure with the folks that work at the corporate office. And I think it all goes around the culture that we've created, that you've come in the last 3 years or so, helped recreate and reshape. And I also think that piece of it too, we're not afraid to change. We're not afraid to grow. We're not afraid to shrink. We've fiscally positioned ourselves quite well for all the ebbs and flows of the business, which is what this business needs. And it seems like everyone, from the branch managers to Donna at the front desk to everyone, knows that those things are important. And as a company, if you start there, then anything's possible. And I think people see that. And there's not a lot of pressure to just grow, to be the biggest and the best and all that. And I think that's what our branch managers would say and feel as well.
We've spent more and more time lately talking about A players and B players and the importance of having A players on our team, which makes a lot of sense. How do you distinguish A player from B player in your mind? What do you think the difference is?
It's a great question too. It's a very subjective thing that became objective over the last couple of years. And A players, they just go a little deeper. They know a little bit more. They care a little bit more, whether you're in post-closing or you're in compliance or in underwriting. An A player takes that 50-50 decision that we all have every day, and somehow they always go a little bit more to go 51-49. And if you look in Vegas, the odds are 51-49 against blackjack, and I think Vegas does pretty well at 51. So I think anecdotally, that would be a great synopsis for me. An A player goes 51.
Okay. I love Vegas too.
I do too.
So we want our A players to be happy, be engaged, feel challenged. It's been a little bit more difficult post-COVID as you battle with the flexibility of hybrid work and bringing people back in and what's the right balance of that. Anything in your mind in terms of what we're going to do this year and rolling into next year to make sure our people are happy and engaged? And you spend a lot of time on that. I can tell you care.
Yeah, I think just the mere fact that companies even discuss such things says that it's important to the leadership team. I know you and I spend a ton of time around that. And I think that if you just stay focused on the enriching of the lives, today we have an eclipse party, which may sound trite to some. I happen to think it isn't. We have an elaborate studio here where Amy and Matt have done a terrific job setting this up. They care. They come over here early. They make sure it's perfect and professional. Amy's going to go back with Matt, and they're going to edit this thing 1, 2, 3, 10 times so that it's perfect. And again, those are A players in my mind that go that little bit extra. And generally, that helps drive the happiness quotient of the people that work here. I don't care if you're an underwriter, and yes, we're all going to be, at some point, this market's going to turn and go crazy, or you're a post-closer or a closer or an IT guy or a BI guy. They're all very, very important, and they all play a vital role in our company. And it's our job to try to make sure that they feel that and they know that. And whether it's, hey, it's beer Fridays, or Emily's coming around with the push cart, or there's a lot of little things that people do in companies that enrich. I've once heard this story. The movie theater owner goes to the usher and he says, hey, you know what? I'm going to make you the manager of the ushers now. And for that person, just that recognition changed the way they felt about their job. So I think it's our job to figure out what is it that people find enriching in a company and a life. They give 8-10 hours a day every day. We spend more time here than we do at our homes in some examples.
Yeah.
So I think just staying conscious of that, Kevin.
I want to jump to operations. So operationally, I think Supreme is second to none. Would you agree?
No question. We close the loans better than any other company I've ever seen or heard.
I love our close on time, fund on time stat. It's above 99% consistently, and it's the loan officers that answers the question, and they tend to complain about most things, probably, right? We're closing loans in 23 days. The industry, according to ICE, is 20 days more than that, 43, 44 days. I don't know why. Why do you think we're so much better operationally than the rest of the industry?
Well, first and foremost, it always goes back to the people. The team that we have, the expectations that you've set, the way you communicate both internally and externally, as does Sue, as does Tony. I mean, I can just keep going down the line. We just have unbelievable people that first and foremost care. They share the message with their staff, whether it's the RUM or the underwriter or the closer or the funder. Those are important things because people forget. When you don't have accountability, that's when we sometimes slough off and slack a little bit. But the accountability is one. The dedication to perfection is another. The constant monitoring it. Let's not forget, Katul and Mark and James and Stuart and Kirk and all the guys down in IT as well. These guys are working tirelessly to make sure that the little things behind the scene, you have your whole BI, your finance team. My mom used to always say, when something goes extremely smoothly, I don't care if it's an event, a party, a tutorial, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. And so every person that's watching this should first and foremost be proud of what you do, be incredibly proud of the accomplishments that we see, because all that work is happening behind the scenes, so everybody else doesn't get to see it. All we get to see is the net results that were twice as good as the competition on the close on time, fund on time.
10,000 things have to go right in order to close and fund a loan on time and put people in homes. And I love that you changed the mission to that.
Yeah.
You know, to get everybody so laser focused on what we do and why it's important.
Well, let's just correct that. I didn't change it. You changed it. It was for the right thing. No, it was the right thing. You know, companies change, companies evolve, and that's why we stay on the top and statistically in almost every single category. When I go to the MBA or I do the Stratmore conferences, literally every one. So I know that may sound like something you don't want to take credit for, but anecdotally it says as a company, as a me, sometimes owners think they're always right, and then God forbid I know I'm not, but to pass the baton and say, Kevin, hey, that's something you're great at. Will you help me recreate that? It's been really rewarding to watch and fun to see.
It was a pleasure to be part of it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you embracing it.
Absolutely.
Is there anything this year operationally you think we need to focus on or try to improve to get ready for next year?
Well, as we all know, our mantra this year, even at the President's Club, was let's get ready to run in 25. So me personally, and anything that I touch and do, is trying to go the step further about maximization of efficiencies. In many of the personal meetings I have, that you and I have, I don't really care what it is and what department we have to overturn. Let's look at everything and say, are we being as efficient as we can? Clearly, one of the things that may come into the market at some point is AI, and where does that do? We took a big step last year when we went with the automated underwriting engine that we have. We have Sue. That was one step. I think that's 1 out of 20 in that step. That's going to take a lot more work, a lot more development work from their perspective and ours as partners. And then hopefully that'll proliferate through. You know, I think there's stones that are unturned right now. The market's in a flux, right? We have the highest interest rates and the lowest housing demand. And so that market turns, whether it's mid 25, late 25, for early 26, late 24, there will be a time in there. And what we need to do is make sure that we're totally prepared for that change and we're able to run. Because right now we're going like this, and we're going to have to go like this, and then we're going to have to go like this in order to capture that market. And I think mental preparedness for that is first and foremost, and then supporting behind that. We have the people, there's no question. We just need to make sure that the systems and the operations can run as fast.
Is there a top of mind area for you or areas that you're hyper focused on that you think needs a little bit more attention than others?
I just think that if I ask you to go run a marathon today and put work boots on you can't do it. I need you to start walking first, then starting to jog, and then run. And that's kind of, as a company, what we need to do. And I don't think there's one department. I think philosophically it's every single department, because we can't go like this. If underwriting's way up here and closing's down here, we can't run. If closing's up here and underwriting's down here, can't run. If closing and underwriting are up here and IT's down here, we can't run. So everyone has to share that same message. We have to get ready, and I encourage every single one of you listening, challenge yourselves to say, what can I do a little better today? I was redoing my opera house up where I grew up, and the town where they were kind of interviewing me from the newspaper, and they said, well, what are you trying to do, Scott? Like, what's your big focus here? And how can the town or the city help you? And I said, here's what we can do. If every homeowner in town would commit to paint their front door, that will send the message to anyone that comes in that says we're prepared. We're moving forward. This town is moving forward. It's a stagnant town. Populations in the schools started to diminish. Population in the town started to diminish. A little town, 8,000 people where I grew up. And that's what we need to say here. So every person, what's one thing you can do at your desk? Maybe you make it a little extra clean. Maybe you turn your PC off. Or maybe you have a nice image on that someone else sees. Those are little things that move. They move big things in time.
I love it.
Yeah.
So well put. So you talked about AI, and one thing I know about you is you're constantly thinking, and you're able to look out, and you're almost a prophet in some ways in mortgage world because you see things that a lot of us can't. What do you think's coming down the road that we need to, I mean, I'm talking down the road, that we need to start
How long's the
about?
road first? Let's ask that.
Let's go 3 to 5 year time frame. Where do we go in that time frame?
Well, certainly probably the biggest thing to hit, I've been in the business almost 30 years now, hit our whole industry is the NAR lawsuit, the realtor lawsuit. That's going to change everything. From the realtor's perspective, you see that, you know, there's companies out there now that are already starting to hire realtors, and I think that's going to change a lot of the landscaping from a buy-sell perspective. Do realtors all become loan officers now? Do loan officers become realtors now? Does the whole thing, I think there's a pretty strong possibility that the whole buying process becomes digital at some point.
Wow.
And then how? Yeah, it's do we need it? Most people I know just go to Zillow to find a house now. Can I just put a web page up that says, hey, go to the house, use a la carte services, and that's how we do it, both on the buy and the list side. 6% of the profit in every deal goes to that. So while I love realtors, I love our relationship with them. We have a lot of MSAs and a lot of things out there. That will be the dominating force for us. And again, we just need to be prepared for what that means and how do we, capitalize on that as opposed to get hit in the head by it.
Do you think AI makes people obsolete, or are we always a people business?
I think we'll always be a people business, personally. I think many have tried. You look at your Rockets of the world and your Loan Depots, and they all tried to come out with the digital. Mortgages are hard. We all know they're hard. I originated for 23 years. I know how hard they are, and we're in it every day, and that's just, in my opinion, doesn't change and make it any easier. Even with AI making some decisions, because people are crafty. We saw that with the AUSs back in 08, 09, you know what I mean? And we continue to see it with the automation of appraisals now. Just probably won't go there now. 20 years from now, I don't know, maybe, but I find it hard to believe that that'll happen. You got to remember too, it's people's largest investment they ever make in their lives. Yeah. It's an important one, and I believe more than anything, they want to have an emotional connection with that. They want to know maybe who their underwriter is. They want to know who their loan officer is. Look at statistical data will tell you that Rocket has a really tough time getting into purchase markets. They can do refis really well, but purchases, people want to still talk to their LO.
One thing that I've been trying to push with our team is this mantra, better never rests. And we've talked about business-wise what we're going to do, and we got a lot to do. But it's not just about work, it's about personal development and getting better personally. And I get to sit next to you and watch things that you're doing to improve yourself personally. Any things you think
my
you
Italian?
can share? Well, yes. Buongiorno,
Yeah.
Scott. Yeah.
Buongiorno, yeah. I have a little 4'8" Italian teacher that comes in twice a week from 8 to 10. So I speak Spanish. And now I'm decided this year I'm going to learn Italian. So that's one thing. You and I play pickleball a couple days a week. I tried to, stay physically fit this year more than ever. It's not just, because I'm 55 now. It's that I think it's an overall eco of life, and how do you view that life, and try to have family time balanced with fun time and friends time and everything else. And we try to push that as much on the organization, I think, is possible. I know it's a big thing for you. You got your dogs that you got to tend to. You got Cindy. You got everything.
Yes.
And everyone has their thing. So I think those are important things. I don't want unbalance of life versus work. I always say, give me an honest 40 hours a week, and let me work the 70 or whatever I end up working. But I think that's healthy for everyone.
I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to hang out with me for a minute. So. Corporate staff is hanging on every word. Any thoughts in closing before we get out of here?
No, just know I'm so very proud of everyone. It's been wonderful to see the growth and enrichment of really everyone. I'm sad to see some people go. It pains me greatly because I have a special relationship with almost everyone at the company, and I hate that. Just know if you're here, that I care, we care about you, and it's important to us that we continue to enrich your lives with yourselves, with your family, and hard decisions are never easy. I've done it, we've had the business for now 25 years.
Jeez.
And I've just seen a lot of things. And I think one of the things that, and hopefully people appreciate most, is that they've never missed a paycheck, we've never tripped a covenant, we've stayed really conscientious that we have no debt. We're a very, very stable company. And stability doesn't come out without hard decisions being made.
Right.
So just know that's the impetus of every single one of them. And many we're running in a come home campaign. We have a lot of people trying to come home that leave, whether it's branches, underwriters, closers. We've had a lot of them of late. So and some we take back if we can. We take the A players back. So. My message would be, those are hard decisions, and we want A players on the team.
Well, I appreciate your leadership and friendship.
Yeah.
You certainly push me hard every day, and Lord knows I need it. But thank you for coming in here, and we'll get you back here on another call in a couple months if that's cool with you.